the mic and get ready to be out of pocket.
Two queens, no filter, say what they feel. Allie and Michelle keep it way too real. Politics, family, yeah, we go there. If it's out of line, we don't care. It's out of pocket. It's out of pocket.
I was going to say silence your phones like Pastor Tom
Lapley does, and then mine's usually
silence your phones. We are going to take a selfie break real quick because this is
Live.
just
Live.
mean,
This is
why
how we
not,
work.
right?
Ready?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Love it. All right.
Women are-
Suck it in. No, don't do that. You end up with rib flare and all the things. Like we're not going to do this. We're not doing this.
Gosh. Well, Allie, how was your weekend?
It was great.
It's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, me
Lovely
too.
weekend.
Lovely weekend.
Yep, got
Good
to
times.
see oh my gosh, Ginger Billy.
That's what you were saying.
He's hilarious. Fun guy. Recognized a few of
laughter.
us in the crowd, which was great. There, we had a couple of hecklers, right? You
That's
know,
fair.
right?
You're always
Because
gonna
they're
have
like,
that.
oh, well, that's not really, who that is. And we're like, yeah, okay. And then Ginger Billy was like, I'm fangirling on stage. It was hilarious. It was great. He knew pretty much all of us. So it was fun. It was good.
That's amazing. Well,
To have that connection, I think, between patriots is a good
Yes.
thing.
yes.
right?
You have to cleanse the palate from all the news and the news
All the
cycle.
politics, right?
Absolutely. I've got a chance to go dancing.
Yes, I know.
90s country. Love it. So it was fun.
I'm so
Fun.
glad you had fun.
And now we're
we
back
need to
into
do that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Neither one of us are behind bars. So obviously, we stayed true to
I mean,
we just got off easy. I don't know.
ooh-wee. Okay.
Okay, guys. So a lot of people, I don't know if you're hearing this, but I'm hearing this, and it's getting a little tough to take sometimes. But we like to say that as a MAGA, America First, it means that we call balls and strikes on both sides of the aisle.
Right.
We don't give anybody a pass when
Right.
it comes to accountability. But there's become this sort of riff in
Yeah.
whatever.
No, I was going to say accountability when it comes to government.
Yes.
That's
there's
the
like-
kind of accountability we talk about, right? Because I don't really give a shit what you do in your personal life.
No,
If
but,
it's not like rape or sexual assault, like I don't want to talk
well,
about it.
but then
Because
the
that's
slush fund.
different.
Yeah,
That's
I get
different.
it.
And the slush fund, right? Because that is our tax dollars going to that. But if it's not those things,
Yeah.
we need to focus on the mission.
Right. And not
And
be
what's
so
the mission?
salacious. Not
Right.
be so salacious. 100%. I get that. And so I love when, every once in a while, the White House, quite frequently, actually, they'll put out a really good sizzle reel just to get, I don't know, it just gets if you don't get this like red-blooded American, like chills when you hear something like this. I love what the White House social media team is doing. Roll clip, let him cook.
You are watching a master at work.
There is nobody like Trump.
Nope.
I don't think we are ever going to see another President Trump.
You are living
Like,
in history
right now.
You
We are living someone's difficult history exam in 2072. I'm just
They're gonna be like, those people did what? They covered their face with what?
oh my gosh.
Why
And
they
the
do that?
president, he bombed Iran and got it done like no one else could ever do.
Ever.
Yes,
Huge.
it's the
huge.
best. And he really is. He really is the best president.
We never get to really talk about all the wins because, and I'm noticing this even as a candidate, that as much as you want to fix the things, and when you think about just the lackadaisical government under Biden Harris, there was a lot to fix because
Yeah.
he did so much the first time around.
Right.
And now
he undid all of it.
He's trying to redo it again. But when you're so busy being hyper scrutinized, it's very difficult to celebrate the wins. And, we've got a border that's closed. We're finding missing children that came across the border under Biden Harris in the unaccompanied minors program. We have now designated the cartels as terrorist organizations. We're going after the fentanyl, all the stuff.
And the human traffickers, the sex slavers, right?
Absolutely.
Where we've done with crazy tax cuts for the average American person, right? We've bolstered our military capabilities and completely surpassed a lot of the not requirements, but the recruitment, right? Gauges. So that's amazing.
On energy independence, just getting back to where we were again before Biden and Harris took office. We've had no King's protest at the same time that our president is actually dethroning those who were illegitimately, they think they won elections in other areas such as Venezuela, which we hear Maduro is singing like a canary. Plus, you've got the first time in 47 years a president has really said, step across that red line in the sand, find out what happens. And, and everybody
with almost all countries that were adversarial to America, even the ones that have decided to slowly come on board to assist America when it comes to what is going on in the Middle East. He's even giving them the stiff arm, like, what are we doing here? So we're seeing a master class. And I like that they put this on, they added that into You're Watching a Masterwork, because we are witnessing a master class of this president. I mean, this is how he runs his business.
Right.
He's a CEO, entrepreneur. This is what you do.
How far off track we were. I mean, Allie, we are only a year and a half into his presidency. But this is why we're kind of toting on this, not because we love everything that any one person does, whether it's Trump or anybody, but because if we don't get out, you and I, and do our due diligence in 2026 and keep the House, keep the Senate, expand our lead, guys,
and build a bench while we're at it.
Yes, we could have 2 years of not getting Trump's agenda through, and then another 4 years of like a Kamala Harris.
Well, you know what I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it because it's out of pocket.
Say it.
I'm Allie, and I'm known for
Hi, Allie.
Just saying
I'm out of pocket.
Hi. Thank you. Welcome to our AA meeting. Out of pocket
therapy.
Our out of pocket meeting. I don't know. Listen, the grand old party is dying. Like literally, the grand old party
Rest in peace.
is dying.
Rest in peace.
And I mean that I love y'all. I do. I love our Oaks, and I love our seasoned Republicans. I love y'all.
Yeah.
And if we don't build a bench, there will be no Republican Party.
No.
It is a MAGA America First party that is supposed to outlive our president.
Yes.
And if we are not actively trying to engage the younger generation who will vote for in 4 years or 2 years, who will vote for their next county commissioner or state representative or governor in the next 2 to 4 years.
Absolutely.
You have to engage them, not just the primary voters, right? The super voters that come out every year.
You need fresh
They're not longevity,
blood.
right?
Because, and so what about, let's just do this. Is there anything you find sexy about the Republican Party? Because I'll tell you, if we don't work on
there's a lot sexy going on in the Republican Party. I had to go there. You open the door. You open the door, ma'am.
She kicked it.
And I had to walk through it. I'm sorry.
Wow. I was going to say I can name a few things, but don't. It's true though, Allie. We need to spark engagement, and I think that's what Trump did. Like him, love him, hate him, or indifferent, he started something in this country that made politics relevant again. He brought it to how does it affect you? How does it come to your doorstep?
And that empowered independent journalists to actually speak.
Absolutely.
And report properly.
Yes.
Unlike our media.
And I don't
can lie to you legally.
I don't think this is ironic, you guys, that we're having this America First MAGA moment in the 250th birthday year of our country. This is, I said this at one of our school board events, we're witnessing, Allie, right now, our 1776.
Yes.
This is your 1776. The left that's fallen off the communist socialist cliff, they are the redcoats of today. And
yeah.
you've got to determine, I'm not talking about a civil war. I'm saying you've got to determine the fact that we are at war, and what role are you going to play in terms of your voice, your mic, and your vote?
Yeah, we're at war for the ideological
Absolutely.
standing foundation of our country. And I kind of want to touch on this because it just keeps coming up, and it's like every freaking news cycle or every couple of months, every 6 months, something like this comes up. So I just want to say everybody falls short of God's grace. Everyone. That's why there's grace.
Yeah.
Right. Just take a look at David.
Pastor was
on
talking about
Sunday.
this morning. Yeah.
Take a look at David and the story of David, and yet he was still called. He literally had a man murdered because he slept with his wife and got her pregnant.
Honey pots back in. No, I'm just kidding.
No, for real. For real though, honey. Listen. Look.
Wow, you guys got to get it together.
If y'all only knew. If y'all only knew. But David, because he wanted to look.
And this is why the Lord was like, gouge your eyes out before you commit that.
But still, he was still named a guy after God's own heart, a man after God's own heart, even after
God
all of that.
broken people and
uses broken people all the time.
Women and all the time. Yeah, all the time.
So what is our mission? I understand the whole, again, essays and the grape word. I get it.
Grape.
Because if that's that, then we need to nip that in the bud, and that's got to go.
That's got to go.
That can't be in our government.
Right.
However, all this other stuff, what happens in somebody else's house with their partner sexually, how does that move the needle? How does that pass President Trump's agenda?
Yeah.
How does that pass the America First agenda? How does that strengthen our military? Well, how does that pass the Save America Act in our Senate? It doesn't.
How does it save our schools?
It doesn't.
This is the issue, though, Allie. We always say, whatever they're trying to deflect to, whatever the new salacious gossip is, that is trying to pull your attention from the things that are important.
It's a distraction. Weren't we just talking about this?
On Sunday.
It's a distraction.
Wow. We were listening. Yeah. See, we were taking notes.
Don't be distracted. Stay mission focused.
Person can do all the jobs.
Except Marco Rubio.
Except Marco Rubio. This would be, if it's the 100 most influential people in 2026, this is what I'm putting my money on. Take a look at Time Magazine.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe they did that.
It's Marco Rubio in every position.
That's it. I need to go find this. And I'm just gonna frame it. I'm gonna put it in the office.
So somebody, it's funny. I was looking through some of the comments. Always go through the comment sections. That's where you find your entertainment. And they were like, well, it's because he's Latino. And so he just works real hard.
That is hilarious.
Oh, it was very funny.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Because he's
got
Latino.
5 jobs?
I think so.
Is that
5? Maybe 100 according to Time Magazine.
So listen, Glenn Beck had a little dialogue over the weekend that I wanted to share with you. Now that we're talking about Marco Rubio, he felt like there was a precursor that were almost like an Easter egg. Are we seeing a nod potentially? Now, this is obviously open for debate, but let's do the debate. Is President Trump giving an Easter egg type of nod to either JD Vance or Marco Rubio for 2028? Because if you think about it, first he sends, JD Vance is doing things like, and I'm having two conversations in my head at one time. JD Vance was doing things like going to Turning Point USA events and doing things like that. Obviously, I think he was nearby for the Senate in case they needed him. And Marco Rubio went to Iran and was negotiating and is like knee deep in that. And so the way Glenn Beck was saying it is like, well, who's got more to lose? Because if Iran falls through, that's going to be a tarnish on Rubio, on Secretary of State Marco Rubio. But then he no sooner said that, and then I fast forwarded the clip, and like 3 or 4 days later, it was reversed. You saw Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the UFC fight, and JD Vance in the Middle East. So tell me that he's like, okay, I love you both equally,
right? He's like, I'm not trying to play favorites.
Such a good daddy.
He is a good daddy. I love it. No, I actually think that's an interesting theory. What do you guys think? Comment below and let us know. Hey guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because we need all of you to like
Absolutely.
share this with everybody you know, because it's amazing.
Have you ever been at the beginning where you're starting over and it feels a little scary? Because like that's kind of what we're doing.
Yes.
But it's actually
Yes and yes
thrilling and fun.
and yes and yes and yes.
Join
Sorry.
us, will you?
Mm.
Join us on our venture. It's going to be
Mhm.
pretty fun.
Mhm.
Great.
I'm
So
terrified.
if you want to see a leftist head literally spin, name the name Clarence Thomas. He is the only African American name. Well, there's a few that seem to make them.
I'm just gonna call him Black American.
that seem to make them go crazy. I don't understand why they have an issue with him. I know
I love it.
there were some, back in the early 2000s, late 1990s, he was in some heat with misconduct alleged, but they seem to overlook it when it's Slick Willie Bill Clinton. But anyway,
And with others. Just saying.
here is Clarence Thomas dropping a truth bomb. Take a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
I think if we don't stand up and take ownership of our country and take responsible for it, we are slowly letting others control how we think and what we think. I think the beauty of going to school is that you learn how to think for yourselves. You develop the discipline to think things through. If you think it's losing confidence, then you get up and you participate. You don't sit on the sidelines. You think that the state is being run and inconsistent with how you feel, then you get up and you participate. You prepare yourself. If you think that the medical profession is not right, well, you become a doctor or be a medical person, and you deal with that. I think we need to take ownership of our country. It's our country.
Absolutely love this because it say all of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
have a republic if we can keep it. And how do we keep a republic?
Yeah.
We keep a republic if we participate. It's only ours if we participate.
If we participate, and it takes everybody. And I know, sorry guys, I know we're getting a little bit of lag there. We're not we're not immune to issues when it comes. We say the gremlins come into the studio.
No,
when
for
it gets
sure.
them lagging.
All the time.
But you're absolutely right, Allie. And it goes even as far down as to your local races, whether it's city commission, county commission, school board, you name it. You have a role to play. And sometimes you, Isaiah style, say, I didn't see anybody. So I
hard
stepped
than
up.
me. Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Right. And I mean, it's an Esther as well. It's a Deborah. Right.
Yes.
It's Esther. Esther's 4:14 is, if we stay silent for this time, you and your family will surely perish.
Yep.
Well, what does that mean? I think about it in these times right now. I mean, this is why I ran for school board in 22. Largely was because I just kept hearing that over and over again. And he's like, "You're going to run for school board." I said, "No, I'm not.
I'm going to do what?"
And then I did anyway, because you listen to the Lord when he tells you to do it 150 times and you don't listen.
Yes.
So it's just like
Hard-headed women.
back and forth,
I do.
right? You just argue with daddy like, "Daddy, I'm sorry," but it's just one of those things. But I mean, yes, we have to participate. It is literally only one generation away. And I've had the privilege to travel this last week, going to Club America events in Kansas and in New York, and these kids are on fire.
They get it, Allie. They get
Oh my
it.
gosh, they are on fire for
Yes.
America. So it's not lost, but we have to engage them because
We have
they're
to.
voting next.
Yes.
And if we are leaving them out, then
yes,
our
absolutely.
country is going to go to the hands of those that are communists. They're literally, the communists are coming. They're not coming. They're here.
They're here.
So,
And they're largely, some of them in the education system, especially higher education, although Florida's taking the lead on trying to oust that. Allie, I love that you brought up the Club America chapters, because one of the things, so we're both very engaged in that, but if we don't, so I remember, like, think back to the first time that you were sparked into almost an outrage over something, guys. Was it your taxes? Was it something they're doing locally in your community? Was it, overdevelopment and too much building? Is it something they did in our school system or healthcare? That moment that you kind of get triggered, and it causes you to want to speak out, and it causes you to want to do something. If you don't have a system that helps you refine that and get your tools,
or good mentors.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. Well, we have these young people that are very hungry to step into the next generation in defending this country, both politically and also in our military. But if we're not the other half of that iron to help sharpen them, the other party, albeit now the Democrat Party, is
The
they
Communist
understand.
Party.
They
Technocrat
understand.
Party.
Yes, they understand. They've always been trying to battle for the minds of the young people. So you're right. I think this is a 911 to our local GOP parties or others that want to step up and fill that gap, because we've got to engage those young people.
I
You're
agree.
absolutely right.
So great job, Clarence,
We love it.
Thomas, the Honorable.
So do you remember all of you that have been riddled by devastation from hurricanes, everything from the Western North Carolina, I think about Tennessee, the Gulf Coast of Texas, Florida.
Yeah.
We were told FEMA's broke
Yeah.
because they used it all for the people coming across the border.
Well, I wonder
illegally.
what the real reason is why they were
Well,
broke.
Let's take a look.
Mm.
Speaker Mike Johnson might have something to say about it.
And I'll note next week there's another Democrat, Sheriff Liz McCormick, who will be to a sentencing hearing on Tuesday of next week through the House Ethics Committee. They investigated and gave her so much due process that it took more than 2 years because she resisted it. I expect that they will come forward with a recommended punishment for the Congress, and I suspect that may be expulsion. In my view, that would be appropriate there. And she's had all the investigation, and the facts have borne out. Apparently, she has stolen FEMA funds. I mean, think of it. You know, the embezzlement of disaster relief funds by a member of Congress. That deserves expulsion.
And everybody's mad at Doge. Why? Hang on. Why are you mad at Doge? Why are you mad? If it is exposing waste, fraud, and abuse, because this is wasteful, this is fraudulent against the American people and the money that they put forward. If you are going to scream for the sexual assault slush fund to be revealed, but not say anything about MacIver, you have a problem.
I'm telling you, Allie, $5 million of FEMA funds that she has exhausted the due process system. This is Sheila McCormick.
McCormick. Sorry, I said
yes.
McCormick. I don't know
and listen, so thank you to Congressman Greg Steube, because he was one of the ones fanning the flames on
yes,
this.
he was.
Democrats said that FEMA had no money to help Americans in Maui. Do you remember that? Democrats said FEMA had no money for Americans in East Palestine, Ohio. The Democrats said FEMA had no money for Americans in Western North Carolina. This is why there's an America First movement. It's not even Republican. It's America First.
Right.
Because you can smell this from a mile away. You know it's wrong. You know it's corrupt. We need to, this should be the focus, not what somebody does behind closed doors in their house.
With consent.
Yeah, let's just if you don't like that, vote them out too. But this needs to be the center of our news cycle. And unfortunately, so many people aren't covering it.
It's not. Like this is terrible. This is terrible. I mean,
$5 million.
Again, I will say it. If you are calling for the slush fund to be released, you also need to be talking about the FEMA fraud that has occurred with this woman.
Absolutely.
That is just absolutely.
I'm sure it makes your blood boil, because try to be a little late on your taxes and see what the IRS does.
Seriously? Like, from the American people, that is a lot of money. And then you're keeping people out of their homes. You're keeping them from rebuilding their lives. You're stalling infrastructure, because that's what FEMA is essentially for too as well.
Right.
So it's like, what exactly are we doing? Like, food, people are there's still people that can't,
the Palisades
rebuild.
in California. I mean, granted, I realize that's 90% of Hollywood, but they're still fighting with their state and with resources that aren't available.
Again, this is why
it's poor management.
Yes, but this is also why you need to take a participatory role in your local government. Your local government, because if you have a surplus in your state, you don't have to depend on FEMA.
Yes.
If you have
We've
the
done
ability,
that many times here in Florida,
right?
Yeah.
If you're able to build up by going through waste, fraud, and abuse, like we do here in Florida with FAFO, Florida's Financial Accountability and Oversight, fiscal, whatever, FAFO. We do with Blaze and Goglia. I'm sorry.
But I mean,
You know what I'm trying to say? My brain's not working right now. I need more coffee and possibly some Tylenol. Anyway.
Y'all, is it allergy season, or is this like a Rona?
I don't know, but I'm losing my mind.
Because everybody's got it. We're all like,
this is driving me crazy. But yes, if you are able to put together some kind of task force to go through all of your local government to figure out where it's being wasteful, because literally since 2020, our local governments, the administrative state, the state of the administration have their pay has increased over almost, I want to say 200%.
Yeah.
While our taxes have gone up and nothing has been fixed in our states.
Yes.
As far as locally, like your infrastructure still sucks.
Oh,
Your
absolutely.
firefighters and your police officers still aren't getting paid a minimum wage or
Right.
proper wage, right? Your school teachers are not getting paid a proper wage. That is largely due to the teachers unions and not allowing them to keep
unions
the
is
money.
still fighting that in Florida.
Right. But this is what I'm saying is like, if we are able to figure out where there's waste, fraud, and abuse on a local level,
Yes.
you won't have to depend on the federal government to assist you when there are natural disasters in your state.
But that's going to be you being the
You
watchman.
have to take.
And I had this conversation with
Yep.
somebody at an event this past weekend. I said, listen, it's not Trump's responsibility.
No.
It's not. And here in Florida, I said, it's not DeSantis's responsibility. It's
Or the
your
incoming
responsibility.
governor. It's yours.
It's your responsibility.
This is your state. It's
Get
your
out
state,
and be
your
the
money.
watchman. Be the watchman. Absolutely. Guys, we will be right back with more Out of Pocket. We are just going to get more out of pocket as it goes on. Be right back after this message from Liberty Cigars.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OpenMic for 10% off your order. Red hat. I mean, it's correct. The red hat, it does. It stays on. The mic is still open, and it's gonna be trademarked too.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Welcome back to Out of Pocket with Allie and Michelle. If you're not already, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, as well as follow personally at Real Allie Leger, at Michelle Posey. We appreciate Talk Red, our family, and our sponsors that help this continue to go and continue to move. We're not going silent anytime soon, despite some really big opposition, but that's what women do. We rise.
They think they're big opposition.
Okay, now that'll be another day. Allie, one of the things we love.
Everyone's probably like, Michelle, what did she say?
I'll talk about it later. There is always, as we're talking about politics, what we spend most of our time, you wouldn't believe this probably about Allie and I, but as much as we talk about politics together, we spend most of our time talking about life, motherhood, relationships. And that's, I think that's kind of one of the first ways we bonded, yes, through current events and getting involved and active locally, but
it touches the kitchen table, does it not?
it does.
When was the last time you avoided any conversation at your kitchen table?
Well,
You invite your girlfriends over.
yeah.
have coffee
Oh,
or
yeah.
tea, and you talk
Or
about
wine.
life, or wine.
Yes.
or
Yeah.
Tequila or margaritas, and you open up your Bible, and we talk about things.
We do.
Because why not? It's the
Yeah.
kitchen table. That's what the kitchen table is for.
Well, and so we
It's
have
better than a bathhouse. Just saying.
we were talking by talking I mean messaging, because sometimes you're in places where you can't talk, but and the subject keeps coming up. This has come up in a couple conversations I've had recently too. We keep talking about what it's like to be single in America, or anywhere right now in the globe in 2026. Everybody from your high schoolers, college students, all the way up to your 50, 60 somethings that are finding themselves single again. And it's difficult to be out there, but specifically for women, there is a great, I don't know if you'd call her an influencer. What is her name?
Kit.
Yes,
Kitty, I love her.
she is amazing, but she's a woman of God and she tells it like it is. Sometimes your girlfriends just need to, this one does a lot. Just rip the Band-Aid off and tell you what you need to hear. Take a listen. Allie and I will discuss.
If you don't see me as a wife, don't be around me. If you don't see me as a girlfriend, don't be around me. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. If you like to swim in that type of sea, then go be it. I don't like to swim with the sharks. They nasty, and they hunt for blood. When you allow yourself to swim in a sea with an open wound, you're going to get attacked by sharks. They're going to find you. I heal my wounds before I go anywhere, because you're not going to smell no blood on me. I will not be vulnerable to somebody who's a threat. So until you heal those wounds, them sharks going to keep on being after you. When you heal those wounds and you raise your standards, the right men come around you, because our standards hold them accountable. So as a woman, make your standards hold that man accountable. That means raise your standards, baby. Raise them up and leave that situationship alone, okay, honey?
Yo, it is so hard because sometimes trauma keeps you in a loop, and you keep reopening wounds that are closed. I had this image a couple of days ago that I'll probably paint, but it's sitting up against a door, a closed door, and on one side of the door is all the things that are not good for you. All the relationships that God has pulled you out of, all of the situations that God has pulled you out of. And for some reason, on the other side, with you looking out with your back to the door, you're looking out at all of the possibility. And it's hard because you feel comforted, right? But you feel sad because you know you can't go back to that because the door's closed. And occasionally you'll knock on the door, and sometimes it'll pry open, but then it closes again and your finger gets stuck or your foot gets stuck in the door. And you're like, dang, I shouldn't have opened that door, or I shouldn't have knocked on that door. Yeah. And it's hard though, because you feel, especially women, we feel so deeply and we love so deeply, but God would not give us this ability to love so hard and so deep if there wasn't someone to love us as equally as we love. It's out there. It has to be. It has to be. I have to believe that. Because if I don't believe that, then I will be alone, and I know that is not what God wants.
Well,
right?
and I love, and this is why we do this show, because this is our true sisterhood moment of what we talk about a lot. I think everybody has a need out there to be loved and to be accepted, and we can joke and be very hard on our exterior. And people that know me politically are probably laughing right now, thinking,
tissues here.
He has a heart. No, really, but you have. And as women, I think it's so unique because, especially women in our age bracket, you've been the wife, you've been the mother, and that's all you know to be. And then you find yourself out here in dating situations where not everybody has your best intentions. Not everybody. I love how she described it as sharks, smelling blood in the water, because you're so doe-eyed and so unaware of what's coming your way. And unfortunately, people will take advantage of that. And I find myself repeatedly, Allie, in a situation where I'm like, does anybody out there love the way I view love anymore? Mm-hmm. It's hard. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that's why, when you and I come together and we're talking outside of work, even, it's so important, you guys, to lift each other up. You've got people in your sphere of influence, in your circle, albeit my circle's getting smaller, but
because there's lots of vapors and sharks.
There is, but
we cutting the grass around here. You hear me?
We're pulling up some weeds. You thought you were grassroots. You were really just a weed. And yeah. No, we did. And that's going to be the clip. That's why you single.
No, I'm single because the pockets ain't deep enough. That's why we keep getting out the pocket. Dude.
I don't know. So I guess we have to have hope and we have to have faith. And so it was funny because our pastor was talking a couple weeks ago, and he was like, do you have what it takes? Will you take 5 years and get alone with you and God and whatever your mission is and whatever your path is that he has you on? Or are you so fixated on right now? And I was like, I don't want to wait 5 years.
Sis, listen, I literally just left Kansas, and me and our mom were having this conversation. I'm not lying to you. I love when God does this. It blows my mind every time it happens. Literally the same thing we were talking about. And I said, we have these situations where we tell our boys to go out, learn who they are,
Right.
go make money, go get a career, and then find a wife. Where in church are we telling girls to find who God called them to be? You
first.
have to, if you're looking for kingdom relationships, right? If you're looking for a kingdom marriage, you have to find your purpose first, not your husband first, not your wife first. You have to know God. You have to know what he says about you, who he calls you to be,
Right.
and what that purpose looks like. And on your way of fulfilling that purpose and saying yes to the Lord over and over and over again, you'll know when the person who is meant for you will come in your life.
Right.
You'll just know.
Yes. Well, and in the process, you'll found yourself. And
Yes.
what I am.
And you'll be able to keep those standards that we talked about.
And that's the thing. So the idea that the more we talk about the dating pool, the more we joke about these dating apps, it makes you feel like you have to lower your standards because your standards are just nobody's ever going to measure. And I'm not talking about perfection. We've both been married. We
Right.
understand. We're not talking about perfection, but there are things you're willing to deal with and things you're not. And there's standards that you should have. This new idea of a conversation of standards, that should be the first date. Forget the diapers that we were talking about at the last week, which I'm still asking if you have diaper play on Sundays, because that's traumatized me forever. But the other conversation we need to have is these standards. What are things that you think are important? What's most important to you? How do you communicate? What's your love language? What's your prayer life like? What, I mean, it's going to be a dissertation every single. That's going to be a long date.
How do you manage stress?
Oh,
right.
Oh my gosh. You know the one. Okay. I may or may not have had this conversation on a first date not that long ago. And I loved this conversation. How do you like to be cared for when you're sick?
That's a good question.
You know why? Because I realized I'm a big freaking baby when I'm sick.
I mean,
and I didn't, but
we bleed a week out the month, ma'am. No, please ask me how I would like to be taken care of when I don't feel well.
Because
I need a heating pad. I need dark chocolate, clean dark chocolate, preferably not the, major brands. You know what I'm saying? Some tacos and maybe some butt rubs.
Oh my God, and butt rubs. That might lead to something else. And then I'm just saying. But I like that, because if you think like, I really need that, gosh, I would really like this while I'm sick, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to be a pain and I don't want to be needy because I'm always so needy. But then you're not giving the person the tools to even meet your expectation of what you have. Whereas the other person was like, you know what? I never thought of that before. And I think I've never been taken care of when I'm sick, but oh my gosh, I would love that. Like,
that's good. Like. See, asking questions. And I think that's honestly the part, right? Where you have to go into a relationship and be willing to go to the bottom of the ocean.
And I always think she means hold me underwater, like waterboarding style. That's not what she means.
I mean, it's emotions. Emotions flow like water.
I mean,
you want to get
where it's still and quiet, and it's just
but it's uncomfortable having because have you ever scuba dived? Probably not. But have you the class? Do a little bit of research on what it takes to scuba dive, to go under. It takes preparation.
Okay,
and you have to understand how your breath is. You have to go through classes. You have to be certified, and you go slow to get to the bottom, and then you can't just rush back up. You have to go slow to come back up, and you have to expand your lungs. It is a big process to process emotions. And in order for you to understand that, you have to know how you feel, but you have to be able to be vulnerable in order to do that.
Well, not only that, Allie, in this instance, even with you think of deep sea diving, like people they train for this. You look at, like Navy SEALs and others. So how are we trained? This is the season I'm in. What am I doing to just make myself the best me that I can be?
Yes.
Because I don't want to bleed all over somebody that's coming into my life that I potentially want to run the rest of my race with. And that's why I love that she said, you've got to heal yourself first. We don't take time to do that because it doesn't feel good.
And healing is not a straight and arrow. It's not a straight and arrow. It ebbs and flows. And in order for you to properly, it's a process. And you will never be fully healed, right?
Right.
Well, I believe in the Lord, and I am healed by his stripes. Amen.
Amen.
However, emotionally, we cling to things. because sometimes what we know and what our trauma it has done to us makes us comfortable. And
Yeah.
stepping outside of that is what is uncomfortable. And that's where the fear comes. But when you have the Lord and you know He is with you wherever you go, you will not be afraid to have those difficult conversations with yourself
Yes.
and with the person, whoever it is in on the other side of you, if you're
Yeah.
trying to build a
Well, and,
relationship.
and honestly, there are people that you can surround yourself with that help in the healing process. I know God brought you into my life
And
at
you, me.
yes, at like the perfect time. I've had friends and friendships along the way that have poured into me, and so it's not like it's a desolate, like lonely desert place that you're in during healing. But I think I like what
It
she
is a
said.
valley.
Oh,
It
yes,
is a valley.
It is a valley,
But if you look around, it's beautiful. Valleys are beautiful.
I know.
They are.
I
Green.
know. This is the one thing
Flowers.
we hardly ever get to talk about.
Right.
I think out of all of the messages, or sometimes the comment section, what I've heard that people, even on private social media, will inbox and have things to say about this topic, because everybody's kind of going through it. Even if you're married, you're going through this
Yeah.
like, what?
And
Like,
you want to be able to give your person the tools.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
or, nope. Nope.
or I'm gonna say it because it's out of pocket. Someone gonna show up with a tool belt and get to work, and you gonna be mad. I said it. It's gonna come cut the grass, get rid of all the vipers and the snakes. Gonna come
make
put
you
down
feel
some
loved and appreciated.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, Allie. So
Moving on.
we've had many conversations about boys and girls sports, and not being able to women not being able to fairly compete in that realm. So for those of you who are looking for the best of the best when it comes to female sports, not only did our USA team kick butt during the last Olympics, but we've got two powerhouses that are going to be.
Want to go see this?
I want to see this
in person
too.
so bad.
Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. I know her; she's an actress as well. But let's take a quick look. They're going to be facing off. Take a look.
Maybe.
Here they are one more time. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, May 16th. We'll bring out all the fighters one last time. Live and exclusively on Netflix.
I am so excited. You guys have no. Okay, so I have been a UFC fan.
Yes, I'm aware. Listen,
Since like
birth.
Since UFC started.
Yeah.
It is my favorite sport. It is my favorite sport.
Yeah.
And every time I get a chance to meet a UFC fighter, I am there. And I'm like,
Every time.
Every single
like,
time.
Seriously, Allie? So,
Every time.
Yes.
And I was mad because I got a phone call from a cousin of mine who was literally walking next to Conor McGregor and was having a full-blown conversation. She calls me as he's walking away and she's like, "Do you know who Conor McGregor is?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, well, he's next to me. Oh, well, he's actually leaving." And I'm like, "And you can't FaceTime me? What are we doing?"
Where's the love?
It was so funny. It was great because she was like, "We have like this full blown conversation," and like I told him that you knew who he, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Allie, really?" It was hilarious. But I love them, and Ronda Rousey is
amazing.
one of my favorites.
Yes.
But I mean, Gina is amazing too.
So she was in The Mandalorian at one time on Disney. Disney did that wonderful series,
It was
but
good.
she expressed some of her viewpoints about something. Apparently, they thought it was a little too political. Although I'll be honest with you, it really wasn't.
It wasn't.
It just didn't line up with their ideology at that
Right,
time. Disney, the entire company, Disney, Burbank Disney, was trying to fight Governor Ron DeSantis to allow kiddie porn into books and tell parents that they didn't have a say in their parents' education. So she came out strong against that. They decided not to further her contract with Disney. She did sue and won a substantial lawsuit. But so forgive me, I didn't know she got her start.
Yes.
In the UFC.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So I'm looking
And
at her and
Gina-
I'm like, How can you be
Gina,
jacked?
Gina is I mean, she's an amazing fighter. Amazing fighter. Now, I'm not, and this is not a takeaway from Ronda Rousey, because Ronda Rousey was like amazing in her class
Yeah.
and like kicked ass. Like seriously, nobody could beat her until I can't remember her name right now. Lord, I'm so sorry. But she was a kickboxer. I can't, oh my gosh, what is her name?
Oh, we can look it up.
Well, it'll come. You guys know who I'm talking about. They ended up, it was a fight. I think she ended up getting knocked out for the first time,
out.
and then she fought again and was knocked out again. But I think that's more of like a fear thing. Like once that happened, because Ronda's never been submitted and she's never been knocked out before this. Before she fought the girl, I think she was from Arizona, and I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry.
There was a heckler at this press conference.
Yeah.
In the back, and I didn't grab the clip, but Rhonda just was like, well, that's because she couldn't, she had fought her once before.
Yeah.
And she was like, she couldn't win. And so, we're not going to give her any, no, don't pan the camera. We don't want to show her. It's pretty fun to watch, especially women talk smack. Take
Holly Holm. That's who it was. Holly Holm. Ronda Rousey lost to Holly Holm. She lost the belt. But I'm excited to see the Rousey and Carano fight, because I know that these two women are just, I mean, there's going to be nothing left. There's going to be nothing left in that ring. And I want to go see this in person. So anybody that has any extra tickets and would like to bless the Oop Girls, would be excited.
So it'd be so amazing. Well, take a look at this. This is all the information you need to catch the fight. It's going to be Saturday, May 6th. I'm sorry, May 15th at, is that 15th?
6th, yeah.
15th? At 8 p.m. Wow, get some readers, Shell. It's at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. So obviously, you can also watch through Netflix. So check that out, guys. This is going to be one of those popcorn days, and let's.
And I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Like,
who's your money on?
Win?
I'd say who's your money on?
Who's going to win? What round? And
I take brunette for 100.
Okay.
I'm just going to say. Although I don't know, because man,
I know. I don't know. I can't decide. So I don't know what you guys think. Who do you think is gonna win? What round do you think it's gonna be? And by what? Will it be knockout? Will it be TKO? Will it be a submission? Let me know. I want to know. I want to know what
this and men are salivating all around the country right now. They're like, this is like the quintessential blonde versus brunette. This is gonna be amazing.
And it's better than WWE.
This is so much better. And if you watched afterwards, of course, once they walk off the stage, hugging each other, great friends. I love that. Women adjusting other women's crowns. We're here for it completely.
Love it. Love it. Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, Allie, that's about it for us here today on Out of Pocket. Guys, we are here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live every day, 5 days a week. We're going to be traveling, hopefully, to DC again.
Yeah.
So we'll have some on the road episodes coming up. But
the Save Our Bacon Act, or the Farm Bill, is actually going to the House to be voted on. And so
we're going to go give a little nudge in the right way to our representatives.
It's more about China than it is about America. So
and how much do you want China involved in your bacon? I don't think at all. So
farmlands, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Our food, it's disgusting. We can't do that. All right, you guys, we love y'all so much. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Bye.
Two queens, no filter, say what they feel. Allie and Michelle keep it way too real. Politics, family, yeah, we go there. If it's out of line, we don't